Ah, I have got to talk about this game. I have got to talk about this game. Wow, Warrior. The Utah Jazz clobbered Dev the Warrior, and the Warrior had a devastating night today, man. Like, what happened to the Warrior, man? I mean, they have been playing so well lately. I mean, they usually this team is pretty consistent, but this night they just like ah, I have no clue what the Jazz did to the Warrior. They destroyed the Warrior. So today, I see the Warrior came to the Jazz and the Warrior were put in a coffin. Let and they were put in the grave, and I just say they get buried tonight, man. The Jazz buried the Warrior. A 30-point loss. The final score of Jazz being the Warrior is 120, 99 to 129. I repeat, they clobbered. They annihilate the Warrior. Well, it's really rare for a team to beat Warrior by at least 30 points. You know that Warrior do have some good and bad days. You know that one time they do lose to some very easy team like the Lakers, like 20 point, like back in 2016. And I remember the Warrior also beat the Jazz exactly 30 point just about 13 or 14 months ago. But then Jazz is looking like getting a revenge and they beat the Warrior by 30. Yeah, so let me talk about the Warrior versus Jazz. I have no idea what is going on in this game, man. What is the Warrior doing? I mean, Jazz play amazing defense. I mean, they're probably the number one defense in the NBA for the last 2 years, but then Spurs take over, you know. Spurs is known as the defensive team, but anyway, we gotta talk about this game, man. This is gonna be the most talked about game in. Everybody's gonna talk about the Jazz versus the Warrior. I mean, this is shocking, man. Like I, like I watched the game a little bit, and the fans were going crazy. The entire 40 minutes, they were going crazy, man. Jazz start from the beginning, and they did not let the Warrior came back, man. They did not. Third quarter, Warrior were terrible, even in the third quarter. And you know they always choke in the fourth quarter, man. So right after they left the third quarter, they were down by 18, and then they slowly climbed up. Oh, it was a 20-point lead, and they build up, and became 30. Every time when the team play against the Warrior, they shoot really well in three, especially three man. Everybody shoots so well, especially 3 point. I mean, Jasmine shooting so many threes. This is why the Warriors is they don't shoot well three tonight. I mean, yeah, I mean Jazz is known as good defense. I repeat again, and they totally shut down the Warriors except for Klay Thompson. Yeah, so Klay Thompson shoots about 70% field goal, but the rest of the Warriors are not shooting that well, mainly because Jazz shut them down. This is why defense is important. With good defense, you can shut down the players, man. Shut down the main player. Prevent them to do less scoring. Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, bad night. Well, Klay Thompson shot about 27 points. While the highest score was I don't know his name, but Ricky Rubio. Yeah, so he was recently got traded from the Minnesota to here, so he scored 23 points. Yeah, everybody from the Jazz shoots pretty well. So who shoots a lot of three? Joe Ingles. Is that how I pronounce his name? I don't know how to pronounce his name, but He was 6 of 8 from threes. Let's see, another young guy, Donovan Mitchell, shoots 2 threes. Ruby Rubio, 2 threes. Man, the Jazz was 58% from the field, and they were 50% of the three, and yeah, they just need to practice their free throw a little bit, but they were doing everything better than the Warrior except for the free throws, of course, because they were shooting 64% free throw. So Jazz needs to work a little better on the free throw. I mean, that ain't no matter, man. It doesn't matter, because they were leaning a lot on the Warriors, so they don't even care if they just miss a few points or not. Doesn't make a big difference. The Warriors just gave up after the third quarter because they know they always struggle in the fourth. And also, Jazz did very low turnover. Well, Jazz did 16 steals on the Warrior, which is why the Warrior had 19 turnovers. So today, every game Warriors score at least 100 points, but today they only scored 99 points, which explains why they didn't play well. Yeah, this is just a really bad night for the Warrior, man. I mean, there was a couple games where Warrior lose about 30, but it's just a lucky night for the Jazz. They just had the momentum to keep shooting and shooting and shooting. It's just like that, man. Whenever team play against Warrior, they just have a tendency of shooting very well, at least about 50%. So let's get into the Warrior. They didn't shoot well from the field. I mean, they shoot 46%, but they didn't shoot that many threes, which explained why they had lost. Steph was 1 of 7 from the threes. Yeah, Steph didn't have a good night. Kevin Durant missed all his threes. Draymond Green didn't have a good night. Zaza, he didn't took that many shots, and Joe McGee, it doesn't matter because he's a bench player, so he was 7 of 8 from the field, and the rest of the bench, they didn't contribute that much. I just want to congratulations to the Utah Jazz for doing such a good effort, but they won't make it to the playoff. I know that this is not a playoff team, but they clobbered the Warrior by 30 points. That shows you that Jazz is not willing to give up. That's the key, man. If the team wins by far on a very good team, they won't give up. They will fight for the playoff spot, but I don't think the Jazz is not going to get anywhere. Even though they just beat the Warrior 30 points. Just like the Lakers. We thought they're gonna make the playoff, but they're not. They one time they own this year. Last year, man, they beat them by 20, but this year Lakers forced the Warrior to have like double overtime stuff. So I know that Warrior do have some bad game. You know that they just lost recently like 19 points to the LA Clippers. I mean, if they play the Clippers, they will probably lose as much as the Jazz, or probably even more. Yeah. Warriors just having problems tonight, man. They couldn't defend the Jazz. The Jazz was so hot tonight, man. They couldn't stop the Jazz. The Warrior couldn't. I mean, last time the Jazz came to the Warrior, the Jazz did this slow Warrior down a little bit, but then the Warrior came back up. But the entire game, Warriors are totally slow. I mean, I thought the Warriors gonna win this game, but yeah, Jazz is this is a very unpredictable, man. Some team can really shock you, man. But Warriors, at least they don't give up a lot of points, just like the Cleveland Cavaliers. I know that Cleveland just lost it, but they've been losing 30 points more frequently compared to the Warrior, mainly because of their defense. So just don't hate the Warrior, and just don't think Warrior's a bad team, man. They don't lose huge margin just like Cavaliers. I know that Cavalier can sometimes lose like 30 points or even 40. Yeah, they almost lost 40 to the Timberwolves, right? Which is kind of scary. Man, oh man. The reason why I didn't watch the game is because the team was like down by 20, right? If they were down like 15 or 18 points, I just turn off the TV and say, that's it, man. I have to do something else, not waste my time watching NBA, right? If you see your favorite team behind so many points, why are you just wasting your time watching it? Just do something else. This is why I keep saying to myself, man, you need to know how to conserve your time. You just need to know your priority. That's what I'm telling you, man. If it's a like close game, like 7 or 8 points, then maybe I'll watch the game, but nearly 20-point lead, TV needs to be turned off. Save electricity that way. So I just tell you like how to be conservative. Same thing the Warrior. If they lead a lot, then there's no need to continue to watch. No need. Audience leave. Yeah, so that's why I couldn't explain about the Warrior in the second half. But in the first half, they were up by 69 points. They were scoring 69 to 56. And then, Warrior were consistent for the first 3 quarters, but then they only shoot 14 in the fourth quarter, because they put their bench player. Their bench are pretty rusty, man. Really rusty bench. Yeah. I think there's hardly any team that score like 130 or above against the Warrior. Well, we'll see, man. We'll see how the Warrior go this season. They will regret this loss and they'll try harder, and this will motivate them to play really strong. They know that Jazz is not a joke, man. This is no joke. Even you play against an easy team, that is not even the 500s, but they can beat you by a lot. If they have the momentum. And so like that. So that's it. I gotta have to end this video here. Yep. Kinda rare. I think the biggest loss I ever seen for the Warriors, like a 32-point loss. The Warrior against the Trailblazer back in 2016. This is like a repetitive again, losing another 30 points. I think that's the Warriors' biggest loss I ever seen so far. But it's almost there, man. But you never know, man. Warrior can lose even like 50 points or 40. Yeah, so that's it. Gotta end this video up here. Hope you like this video. Man, you guys was really wondering why the Warrior lose this much, but in the second game or third game, if this happened, it will unlikely to happen. Goodbye.